All right, so we're back in our science book. We are on page 200. I'm gonna write on the name part because you can't see it. 229. So you need your pencil, you need your science book, of course. So we're in our science book. It's, in case you didn't know, it's got the cool lizard on the front. I like my lizard. And then it's on page 229. We're doing a crossword puzzle. So our words are adaptation, migrate. These are key lesson vocabulary words, the red ones. So adaptations, migrate, behavior, parent, instinct, shelter, learn, hibernate. I am not going to give you all of them. I'm only going to do a very few. So number 4 across, behaviors are blank that help organisms survive. So which of these help it survive? So if I look at this, it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 letters. So I'm going to put in 11 right there, just so I know there's 11 letters. Number 7 across, which is here, animals that blank enjoy a long winter's rest. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This one has 9 letters. And this is number 3 across. It's right here. Or number 8, sorry. It's number 8. Sorry. Get ahead of myself. Animals blank to hunt by watching others' animals. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5. Now we're doing up and down. We're doing the down ones now. Number 1 down, right there. A young animal learns behavior by watching it blank. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 7 letters. Number 2 down, right there. Animals that need a warm place out of the rain seek blank. So we're looking at number 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 7 letters in that one too. Uh-oh. Looking for food and shelter is a blank. Number 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's an 8 letter. Each year, gray whales blank thousands of miles. So we're doing number 5 down, which is right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7 letters, but a lot of 7-letter ones. And then migration and hibernation are 2 examples of animal blank. So number 6 has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 letters. All right, let me go figure this one out now. So I'm going to do this one here is learn. I'm in the wrong spot. Hang on. These are across. Got in the wrong spot. So learn would go there. Because that's the only 5-letter word up there. And somewhere I miscounted a word apparently. And then number 1, which actually has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I lost my cat. And then 1 down is parent. No, it can't be a parent, can it? Doesn't fit. Huh. Well, it's got to be the right one. Because that's what you learn. Well, there's only 6 letters. And there's 7 slots. Huh. Very interesting. That is the right answer, though. It is the one that goes there. So we'll put an S on the end. So you have the rest to do. on your own sometime today. So go back and look through the lessons, find the right answers, put them in, and we're cruising on because we have to. How are instincts and learned behaviors the same? What is the difference between them? So you are coming up with answers on how they're the same. So how are they the same? Well, think about it. You have to do some things like breathing and eating and stuff like that. So how are some of them the same? And then how are they different? So, right, some ways they're the same and some ways they are different. Number 3 says, look at the photos. Construct an explanation about how the behavior helps the animal survive. So if I'm here, I'm using just this column for this one, just this column for this one. So write down things that you see here. So eating, that's an important one. This was shelter. This was migrating. And this one is hibernating. So those are your top words, but how are those helping the animals to survive? So we're finishing off our lesson 6.3, and now we're going to start with 6.4. You need to have stuff written in for at least the first line on the second line, on all of these. Okay? If you need to, rewind to write things down, that's perfectly fine because it's a video, it's not me teaching live. So how they're the same, how they're different, and then this is eating, shelter, migrating, hibernating. All right, we're going on lesson 6.4, which is on the next page for you. For me, it's just this. What are ecosystems? I have no idea what an ecosystem is. So engage your brain. Find the answer to the following question in this lesson and record it here. This woodpecker stores acorns in this tree. So if you look at the tree, it made holes to put the acorns in. Why is the tree part of the woodpecker's habitat? Well, I don't even know what a habitat is yet, so I can't answer this question at all. So I gotta think on that one. So a woodpecker, habitat, acorns. Okay, so that's what we're reading for as we go through. Gonna remember those things. Acorn, woodpecker, tree. All right, here we go. Animals and plants at home. Okay. What do sand, saltwater, crabs, and seaweed all have in common? You can find them at the beach, of course. Well, that's very true. Those are all things you can find at the beach. Active reading, so that's what we're going to be working on. As you read the 2 pages, draw lines under the main idea. Ooh, main idea. That's the number 1 idea of all of this. So we're looking for the main idea of each of these. All right. When you go to the beach, you find lots of living things. Non-living things, like sand and saltwater, are also part of the beach. Everything that surrounds a living thing is its environment. This includes living and non-living things. Your desk, teacher, books, and air are all part of your classroom environment. Now, the main idea of this first paragraph is right there. Everything that surrounds a living thing is its environment. That's what's around it. So that's our one for the first paragraph. Next paragraph. An ecosystem is all the living and non-living things in a place. In an ecosystem, living things interact with each other and with the non-living parts of their environment. Think of bees that use an old log to build their hive. They gather nectar from flowers to make honey. A bear eats the honey. This interaction makes up part of the ecosystem. So our main idea, an ecosystem is all the living and non-living things in a place. So if we go back and think about the beach, the sand and the water are non-living. They don't grow. But inside the sand are crabs, or in the water are fish. And those are living. In this one here, we had the hive that was built. That's not living. That's something they made. The bees, though, are living. The nectar is not living, but the flower is living. So these are living and non-living things. Living things in the same ecosystem share resources. Many of them also share a habitat. A habitat is the space where a plant or animal lives. A frog's habitat is a pond. A frog's environment is everything around the frog. Ooh, living things and same share resources. But see, the first sentence talks about resources, but everything else talks about habitats. So this would be a habitat is the space where a plant and animals live, because everything else in that paragraph is about where an animal lives, not about resources yet. This crab's habitat on the sand, the crab and sand are both parts of the ecosystem. So remember, the ecosystem has living and non-living. Okay, cruising right along. Okay. Still doing main ideas. All right, doing main ideas, main ideas. We're looking at the wonderful fish. An ocean ecosystem includes saltwater, seaweed, fish, and other animals. Each depends upon the other to survive. So there's no main idea for this. This is a caption. So we don't have to underline anything, so we're safe. So the ocean ecosystem has salt water, that's not living. Seaweed, fish, and other animals are all living. So it has living and non-living things in it. Our next picture down, sea anemones, sea stars, and mussels live in tidal pools. They all share resources such as food to survive in their environment. Another resource they share are the rocks, because they can't all have their own rock. They have to share the rock. What makes up an ecosystem? Choose an ecosystem from the photographs. So you look back at these two photographs, or these two photographs. And then list at least 3 things that make up the ecosystem. So you've got to list 3 things that make up the ecosystem from one of the pictures. And that's all you need to do. You need to answer all the other questions, and you are good for science for the day.